Hello guys, welcome back to my podcast. I'm so happy to be talking to you guys because I've had an awful few weeks and I really want to talk to you guys about it and update you guys, and I feel like that will help improve my mood. Also, I have these new glasses. I'm finally able to see again. I have had my prescription change quite drastically and I couldn't afford to get new glasses, so I just couldn't see for a while, but now I can see again. I don't really love these glasses, but I feel like I just need to accept that I probably will not find a pair of glasses that I will be happy with and I will feel suit me. These I feel like aren't really giving what I hoped they would give, but I can see, so that's okay. I'm counting my blessings. Today I want to talk to you guys about something that you are probably sick of hearing me talk about because I have made quite a lot of content regarding this subject, and that is anxiety. I talked a lot of talk for a while about like, oh, I've overcome my anxiety. These are my Soggy Rice 3 tips to overcome my anxiety. This is how I recommend you guys do it. These are the books to read. You guys need to remember to be present and loving and radically accept. And then the past few weeks, I've had to deal with the real deal and I forgot how horrific it was. I'm gonna start with like what's been going on in terms of anxiety, but I want to end on a positive note and I don't want to just like complain about how anxious I've been. So I also want to talk about the things that have been helping me because I'm kind of out of it now. It was like a short little, I don't know if relapse is the word because I used to have an anxiety disorder. So I don't know if it was like, it was a little callback, it was a little throwback. That throwback is nearly over now, I think. I'm like really on the mend. So I want to talk about the things that have really helped me and what I am hoping to continue doing to try and prevent that from happening again. Because in a way it was good, like because I've gotten so lazy with a lot of the kind of coping strategies and habits and routines I have that helped me to not be anxious. It's been working so well that I just got really lazy and I wasn't doing them, and having this period, this throwback of like, oh my goodness, I can't get out of bed because there's a horrific heavy weight on my chest and I can't move and I literally can't breathe. I feel like was like a good kick in the butt to be like, no, I need to continue doing those things. Just because I have gotten better does not mean that this isn't something that's like dormant within me, right? Anyways, I'm getting ahead of myself. I've had a really busy, crazy busy, I think this started around like end of July slash start of August was crazy for me. And it's funny because I don't really want to complain about it because it was really like, it was a blessed time. Basically, my friend from Morocco came to visit and that was so lovely. And I also have a lot of friends who are leaving to go study master's degrees, just moving. And so there were a lot of, I guess, like social obligations. So I was seeing people like all the time, which was wonderful in a way because I love seeing people. And I was talking about how like, I think in like a previous video, I was like, oh my God, guys, depression gone because I've been seeing everyone all the time and I love seeing my friends. But what happened was I was really neglecting my work. Like I had quite a lot of work I was supposed to do. It just wasn't being done. And it's like, who do I think is gonna do it? If I'm not doing my work, how is it magically gonna get done? Then there are just other things as well. We currently have a rat infestation and there's just been some issues with housing, in regards to housing. I also wanted to get my British citizenship this summer and I've put it off for so long that now I don't have time to do it anymore before my next uni year starts, and I don't think I'm going to be able to do it whilst I'm at uni. And I can't remember why, but there was something that was supposed to happen in March that I was like, I need to get my citizenship before this happens, or else it will be harder for me to get it. And I can't remember what it was. Basically, I'm like, okay, crap, I'm going to have to do my citizenship whilst I'm studying. And then also all the heat waves are horrible and I spent all the money I was supposed to spend on my on my citizenship. I spent loads of money on an aircon instead because of the aircon scalpers. And then there's like just a bunch of other stuff. Some emotional stuff happened, some other stuff went wrong. I'm kind of stressed about work. I've had some stuff happen with this job that's made me really stressed. I also have really little money at the moment, like so little money, because I keep saying no to brand deals and I need to start saying yes, but then I'm like, oh, I don't feel perfectly 100% ethically aligned, and that's obviously brilliant, but like I have no money. So like I couldn't afford to buy new glasses. Like, what is this? Basically just like financially, house, family wise, socially, emotionally, everything has gone like a little bit wrong. And it's not that anything in itself, because all of these things I'm saying, like, they're not that bad, right? Like I'm actually like really blessed, I'm really privileged, I'm really lucky. I've not been giving any of those things thought because I've been so busy. They've all just kind of been like tapping away in the background, and I'll like wake up at night suddenly be like, the rats, I need to do research whether the council can get involved with the rat problem, and then I'll fall back asleep, and then I'll wake up like, oh my god, I forgot that I have like a contract signed, I need to like hand in a video by a certain time and I've not even started it, and then I go back asleep. So it's like slowly these things are ticking away. And as well as this, like my room was horrifically messy. I hadn't done my like daily planning. I talk so much about like my journal system, my daily planning. I was so busy, and also my room was so messy and my desk was so messy. It's still kind of messy now, but it was so messy that I couldn't even find my journal. And I was just like, I was just completely lost in like so much clutter, like mental clutter, physical clutter, everything was cluttered. All of this being said, I don't know if this is actually even what caused me to have my little anxiety throwback. It sounds like it, but I don't know for sure because I don't know what overcame me. But suddenly I just like felt something creeping up. I felt bad. I would like struggle falling asleep, which is not an issue I ever have. I like fall asleep suspiciously weirdly fast. Usually it takes me like, I don't know, like genuinely like a minute. Like I fall asleep really weirdly, freakishly fast, but it was taking me like over an hour to fall asleep. And I was like, this has never been a problem. Even when I was like really mentally ill as a child, like sleep was always a thing that I was fine with. And then suddenly my sleep was being affected. So then I was also really sleep deprived, going to all these social events, not giving myself any time to think, also not spending any time alone. There were some other things I was upset about and I just didn't give myself the space to be upset about them. And then just like some other stuff that's like a bit personal was going on. None of these things were that bad on their own, but everything kind of like came together. And suddenly before, like, I can't remember when was the big first kind of like panic attack, but I think it was before one of my friend's goodbye parties, and I really wanted to go to this thing. I just suddenly like all day felt this kind of like weight starting to build, like this stone almost on my like chest, and I was like, okay, not good, but like whatever, I'll get ready. It was a theme party, so I got ready, and then suddenly I was like, I need to start heading out soon, and I just started crying and I could not stop crying. And I don't cry very often, not because like I'm emotionally boxed up or anything. I used to cry a lot when I was a teenager. I just like haven't really felt the need to cry in a long time. Like I'll cry sometimes, I'll cry of happiness, also not that often. I feel like I'm much more emotionally regulated. When I was younger I would cry of happiness and sadness like multiple times a day. Recently it's like sometimes I'll do a little cry if like I watch a sad movie or I found out something really touching, or I'll cry a little bit because I'm so happy and blessed. But most of the time it's not like a kind of cry. It's like a little like sniffle and a tear, and it's very rare. But suddenly I was just like sobbing and I couldn't stop sobbing, and I didn't understand why, and I didn't know how to make it stop. I still went to the party. Luckily, like I'm really close with the girl who was hosting it, and then I was like, hey, can I just like come to your house and cry at your house? Hopefully being around you I'll calm down enough before the party starts. And that is what ended up happening. But then I went home, and then again I just started crying. And then I had a similar thing where me and my friends had a dinner party, and I was just feeling so weird before the dinner party. Like I was like led in the grass, and I was like trying to like ground myself like physically. Like I was literally clinging onto the grass, and I was like, I don't know what's happening, but something is so turbulent within me. Basically the plans changed it a little bit, and because the plans slightly changed, I like couldn't cope with it. And again I just like I wanted to say I would need to go home, but I almost couldn't speak because I was like going to start crying. So I cried a little bit in the bathroom, and then I was like, okay guys, I need to go. And then the whole walk home, I suddenly, like it seized me suddenly, and I had the anxiety that I think I last had when I was like in sixth form, so like 16, 17, 18. I have not had anxiety like that since then. So sorry to everyone, by the way, with the advice I was giving. I feel like, I mean obviously it still works, I still stand by all the advice that I've like given, but I forgot how actually like huge of a beast it is to battle, because when I've had anxiety recently, like it's just like, oh, I'm a bit anxious in my mind. I forgot how full body immobilizing anxiety is. I was walking and I was like struggling to catch a breath. For me it's just this crushing weight that's like so bad that if I lie down and it hits, I like can't get up because it's so heavy. And that's what ended up happening. I got home and I couldn't stop crying. I couldn't calm down. I couldn't sleep. I would make my boyfriend like lie on top of me and put all his weight like on my chest, and like that was the only thing that would like kind of help. But then because it was really hot, I would be like, okay, you have to get off now. And then I'd be like, oh my god, no, please come back. And I like then started to get really dependent on like constantly being around people in order to distract from how I was feeling. But the thing is, how I was feeling was partly bubbling up because I wasn't having any time alone to sift through and sit with the fact that there were some things that I was disappointed by and anxious about and worried about and sad about and a bit stressed about. Instead, I just kept surrounding myself with people. I was on the phone 24/7, guys. If I was not with a person, I was on the phone. I would be walking to the function on the phone with another friend. I would be walking to like the park coffee date on like a group FaceTime with multiple other people. Like I'm really blessed and lucky obviously to have so many people that are willing to speak to me so much. It was obviously like not the solution, because that was what was upsetting me so much, was the fact that I was constantly like with people, not upsetting me but like preventing me from actually processing all of the like mildly stressful things that were happening that obviously all just kind of like built up. And that also really didn't help, because like a big thing that helps me not be anxious and be grounded and zen and happy is to have really low screen time. But I was on FaceTime constantly, like I was looking at my phone at all times, and it just became this huge coping thing where like that night when like my boyfriend laying on my chest wasn't helping enough, I basically like one of my friend groups, which is like I'd say like my biggest friend group, because it's such a big group of people, they mostly communicate on Discord, which by the way, I'm a Discord lover. We need in-person third spaces, but in the meantime Discord is such a great third space because it's so low pressure. Like there will always be at least like 3 people in a call, well, not always, but like a lot of the time if I open the app, in that like server of like my friend group, there are always like at least 3 people just in a call, and I can just hop in, talk a little bit, and then I can leave. And it's really low pressure. It's not like I call someone one-on-one and then I'm like, oh, I need to speak for at least a little bit before I can hang up. With the Discord, it's like I just hop on, I say hello, I talk a bit, and then if I'm like, oh, I'm really not feeling this, I can just hang up and it's like not a big deal. And there was like a really big call happening that night, and I just joined the call, and it was weird how like emotionally weird I was being. Like I couldn't stop crying and I was really anxious, and I really appreciate everyone was like helping me through it. And then one of my like sweetest, bestest friends ever, who I really rarely get to see, Theo. You guys actually know Theo. I did a vlog with them and I have a matching tattoo with them. I love them so much. They're literally like my sun, my moon, my stars, my everything. I'd not spoken to them in ages, and they were drunk and they joined the call, and I started crying of happiness to see them. And it's like, again, like that's a beautiful thing, but like I've not been emotionally, I guess, dysregulated like this in a while. Like as blessed and beautiful as it is to cry out of happiness, I don't think that like constantly crying from happiness is, I don't want to say like a good thing or a bad thing, but like for me at least, it's unsustainable. Like for me, I think my most calm, peaceful time has been with not too many frequent significant downs, but also not too many significant frequent ups either. Like I can't be crying, sobbing of happiness every single day, because it's just a lot. Like it's just quite intense. Yeah, like I was just crying because I was like, oh my god, I miss you so much, which is funny because I miss them a lot of the time, but I don't really cry about it. Like suddenly I was just so emotional. I asked one of my other friends, like, have I been being weird recently? We know the answer, and they were like, yeah, but also you've been really clingy recently. Like you've been really like, hello, please can you talk, are you upset with me? And that's when I was like, okay, like something needs to change, because yeah, I started being like, everyone hates me, everyone's upset with me. It was so funny. One day I like called one friend to be like, I think the other friend hates me, and then the other friend messaged me that day being like, I just wanted to let you know I'm so grateful to be your friend. And it's like, what is happening? Like I'm clearly like misunderstanding all these cues. I'm convinced everyone is so upset with me and hates me, and also everything's going wrong and I can't cope with it. So instead I like am on the phone constantly. And then it became a thing where even if I wasn't on the phone, I would just be scrolling TikTok constantly. Like guys, screen time has been forever recently. Screen time has been like, I am looking at a phone if I'm not with people. It's been really, really bad. So I finally was like, this is ridiculous. I'm actually like becoming the person that I was when I was 16, 17, 18, when I refer to like, that was probably like my most anxious period of time. I don't know if I'd necessarily say most unwell, but I think like probably because at that point I did have like a lot of responsibility. I think when I was a child I was really unwell, but it probably was less intense just because I was a child, and I feel like I was allowed to just be unwell and sit with that. But then in sixth form, it's like I actually had shit to do and I wasn't doing it because I was really, really struggling. I was like, why is this happening again? So I've made a list on my laptop of some things that I've been doing that I think have brought me out of it and helped me. Anyway, sorry, I've already been talking for like 15 minutes and literally just giving you guys the update, and this isn't what the video is supposed to be about. But yeah, guys, it's been bad. And I know it doesn't sound that bad, or maybe it does, I don't know. I think it's because this isn't that bad compared to how bad I've been in the past. I've been way worse than this, but I think it's just a bit scary because when I was way worse than this, I was really mentally unwell and physically unwell, whereas now it's like I'm supposed to be chilling, and it's like, where's the chilling? The biggest thing for me is just that like I think I was overwhelming myself sensory wise, socially, physically, like visually, like everything was overwhelming. This is like more so, I guess, like a little joke for my UK viewers who might have been part of like the NHS mental health system, but people often joke about like CAMS, which is Child Mental Health Services. Wait, why is it CAMS? Child and Adolescent Mental Health Services. I don't know anyone who has had a good experience with them. Like I'm sure there are people that exist that have had a good experience with them, but like it's always some like, you will go, like I know people who have gone and who have now been diagnosed with like actually very serious conditions, and they were like talking about it as a child, and then the CAMS supervisor would be like, have you ever tried having a nice warm peppermint tea? And it's like, what? Like how is it supposed to help? I agree that that is like clearly not the solution to like a very severe health problem. However, I do think that for me, with my anxiety, I found to give myself the best fighting chance, and not even of anxiety, with everything, to be honest, to give myself the best fighting chance, I do need to create the kindest, warmest, safest sensory and like, I guess, like room environment possible. So I cleaned my room, which was really hard to do because I was feeling so bad. I think I might have like invited a friend over. Like I said, I've always been with friends, and I just cleaned my room, and immediately I was like, okay, I'm able to like orient myself in my room. Like I'm not like confused about like where everything is, and I'm not overwhelmed in that sense. Anyways, so far, really crap advice. Have you ever tried cleaning your room? I then was like, okay, I just need to like, lifestyle wise, I need to stop giving myself constant stimulation. I need to allow myself to be in my body and be in my environment and feel things and process things. So instead of doing everything while on the phone with people, like I was calling people while eating, while cooking, while cleaning. I was like, okay, obviously I cleaned with my friend, but then I was like, pause, I'm gonna make myself a meal, and I'm not going to call someone while doing it, and I'm not going to listen to music, and I'm not going to watch a YouTube video. I am just going to bear the discomfort of being so anxious, and it's difficult, of being so anxious and having this physical weight on me, and I'm going to have this physical weight on me, and I'm going to make myself dinner. And it was really hard. Like, it's really, I forgot how much anxiety sucks. And then suddenly I realized I was really focused on the dinner, and I was really excited making it, and I wasn't really focusing like that, not even focusing, but just like the weight on the chest had slightly gone. I also was like, okay, my brain needs to be able to process things, and I feel like if I'm constantly watching like Gossip Girl clips on TikTok, what am I going to be processing? It's like so overwhelming to constantly be staring at, like, I think especially TikTok, like short form distractions I think are really bad to me. Like, I don't even want to say like don't distract yourself, because I do think that like allowing things to process a bit in the background whilst you're occupied with something else and keeping busy is a way to kind of like, I guess, start processing and like coming to terms with things and like, I don't know, whatever. But I feel like short form content is not the way to do it, because it's so overwhelming for your brain to have to like, or I don't know, I can't speak for everyone, maybe you guys are able to process it better than me, but for me, I can literally feel afterwards, like an hour after, I don't know, scrolling on TikTok for like 5 hours in bed, I will still be like kind of processing the things that I've been watching, and I'll be really like kind of shaky, and like it literally feels like I've done like a drug. Like it's really intense. Like it's a very physical thing for me to use my phone a lot, and especially short form content. So I was banned from my phone, and that's so hard. I have a whole nother podcast up about like breaking screen time. I was doing like a lot of the tricks from that podcast. I would start the day with my phone outside of my room, having my phone off for long periods of time, because then when I automatically reach for it, it's off, and then I'm like, oh yeah, I'm supposed to not be using it. Another thing as well is like not just like cold turkey stopping using my phone and not like replacing it with something else. So for me, for example, I used to crochet, and that was really helpful. I used to use my phone a lot before bed, and then I found that like when I stopped using it, I kind of like needed something to focus on instead, and crocheting really helped. And then my hands were occupied as well, so I was like, okay, I actually don't want my phone anymore. What I've been recently doing is reading East of Eden. I'm enjoying it so much, guys. I should have the video up soon because I'm already quite a way in. Really enjoying it. And yeah, in the morning, instead of like blasting myself with information, and by information I mean like Gossip Girl clips and like, I don't know, loads of like little funny jokes on TikTok, instead starting the day, and like I feel, because I've been in the habit of using my phone in the morning so much recently, I can feel this need to have to like immediately have information or something, which is a shame as well, because I feel like my old morning routine before this weird anxiety thing was so good. Like I would get up, I'd make myself my favorite breakfast I have every single day, I would sit, I would look outside the window, and I would like really be like one and quiet, and it was a really nice way to gently wake up. But recently, like I don't think I'm going to be able to go from one extreme to the other just like that, you know. It's like I feel like I need to slowly ease myself into it. I've also not been meditating, and I think I'm going to again ease myself into it. It probably would be beneficial to do, but I genuinely think it might like stress me out, because I feel like I'd be really bad at it right now, because my brain is so just like my brain is fried from how much I've been overwhelming myself. I think I would be a bit sad to see how bad I am at it, so I'm gonna gently ease myself into it by just being mindful and present and slow, and then I'll get to it eventually. In the mornings, instead of immediately just like having all that screen time, I've been taking in so much information from my book, and it's like a really juicy book, so I feel like I'm really hooked, and that's been really great. I'm glad that I'm not hooked on my phone, and that has helped so much, like truly. Oh, also phone on black and white, and also my laptop in black and white, everything black and white. I'm just kind of like slowly taking away these weird additional intense sensory kind of like habits I've had, and just kind of making sure that my brain isn't overwhelmed. Also, this one's really hard, and I've not really gotten around to it too much yet, but forcing myself to have alone time where I'm just kind of not doing anything, and that's going into the meditation thing. I need to go on like a walk by myself or something. I'm easing myself into it. So that's just kind of like about creating a general environment that is really pleasant and nice, easygoing and gentle, so that I can kind of ease into like processing all of the things that I'm like, again, oh my god, there's a rat infestation in the house. That sucks, but that happens to a lot of people. Like, I don't think that's like the most evil, horrible thing in the world. Obviously, like the slight issues with, I don't want to say too much because I like don't know who watches these videos, but like the housing stuff is a little bit like, but it's okay. Like, that's the thing, I've forgotten the core most important lesson, which is that no matter what, everything's just gonna have to be okay. It's gonna have to be, or I'll die, and that's okay as well. I have to die at some point. I just have to accept things. If they're in my control, then I can change them. If they're not, why am I worrying about them? And that sounds a lot easier said than done, but I think a big reason why I've been able to maintain that mindset is because my emotional state and like everything around me was so regulated and calm. And now, because I've had this like big upheaval of like, I suddenly am just like so overwhelmed and not with my brain or thoughts at all, and then all these little like things have been getting at me, is just culminated in like having anxiety again. Then as for actually breaking down how I'm feeling, so I kind of slowly did those things first to allow myself to have the space to start processing things in the background. And then finally I had a day where I was like, I'm itching to get this out. I can feel that I've chewed and chewed and chewed, and I'm now ready to spit out an answer. And I journaled, which I've not done in so long. I forgot how like actually great journaling is. Let me find my journal. I might read you guys stuff. I just forgot how brilliant journaling is as like genuinely a way to like process your emotions in a way that's slow, because obviously you're limited by the fact that it takes a while to write. You're slowly kind of processing everything in a linear way. First I wrote about the fact that I was feeling terrible, and this I think was really great to actually get to the root of like, okay, I've built this kind of like safe foundation now of like nice sensory comfort and not overwhelming myself. Now what actually do I want to change in order to make myself feel better? Well, not even make myself feel better, but like what is happening? First I wrote, I've been feeling terrible recently. I've been regressing in a lot of anxiety related thought patterns and behaviors. For example, I've been reading into people's behavior and ruminating on whether they are upset with me. I've been automatically assuming it to be my burden to bear when someone is upset with me. I've been catastrophizing. I've been avoiding rather than practicing self-soothing and sitting with discomfort. I've been repeatedly asking people if they're upset with me. I've been pushing back against people and things that have happened rather than accepting, and I've been speaking negatively. This has manifested in a lot of physical and mental anxiety, ruminating thoughts, high screen time, moments of panic, and acne. I forgot I wrote that. I've got makeup on at the moment, you can't really see it, but I did break out, and I don't really often break out, so I was like, this is a sign that something is really up. Like, I had like breakout all on my forehead and on my cheeks, and there's nothing wrong with that, but I was like, wait, something is clearly up if like this is physically manifesting like so intensely. I need to remember nothing belongs to me. I am entitled to nothing. To radically accept everyone is my sister, everyone is my brother. And then I just wrote those things over and over again for a little while because I found that quite helpful. I know hearing like I am entitled to nothing belongs to me can sound a bit counterintuitive, but it really helps me because I think a lot of my anxiety is like control or entitlement, and I don't even mean entitlement in like the way I guess people typically mean it as like, oh, I deserve everything. I mean just like even entitled to like, I deserve to live in a house without a rat infestation. Yeah, low-key, no one should be in a house with a rat infestation, but like the rats gotta go somewhere, and I guess it's my turn today, you know? And I kind of feel like that's what I mean by like I'm entitled to nothing. Obviously within reason, you're entitled to like safety and warmth and love and all these lovely things, but in the grand scheme of things, even like when I get worried about death and I'm like, what if I die tomorrow? I'm not entitled to live any longer than that. If it's my time to go, it's my time to go. And that's the thing, that way of thinking really helps. So yeah, I'm entitled to nothing, blah 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 blah. I wrote then a bunch of stuff about how the world around me is so beautiful, like there's so much joy and wonder and stuff, and it's like I just have to accept that there is actually so much to be grateful for. Okay guys, I've been like waffling a little bit. This is now we're actually getting to like the meat, which was where I was like, oh okay, now I remember how to chill out. This world exists entirely in my mind. Why do I make it cruel and scary and unsafe? My feet are on the floor right now. I am where I'm meant to be. Why not create a world in my mind that is kind and forgiving and loving and exciting and dazzling and brilliant? It's all in me. The world as I know it is my interpretation of all this external stimuli, right? I have been suspicious and nitpicking and mean and gossiping and unthoughtful. I have created a world that is worthy of suspicion and nitpicking and meanness and gossip. I can be accepting and loving and excited and forgiving and peaceful. I can create a world that is worthy of acceptance and love and excitement and forgiveness and peace. By that, because I don't mean like obviously if I'm suspicious and gossiping then the world becomes evil, but obviously like if I'm acting really suspicious and if I'm constantly asking people, like a lot of that is to do with like my behaviors. If I'm constantly like, oh, I think this person hates me, do you hate me, I'm like kind of playing into it, and I realize like I need to stop playing into it. I can be worried and anxious, and I can kind of just like allow that to happen, but I don't have to play into it, and it takes a bit of restraint. And I'm not saying that I need to also avoid how I feel, but I feel like I was quite directly playing into it because I'd not felt that way in so long, and I forgot what a dangerous game that is. Then I put, they are upset with me, let them. I'm here for them anyway. He has upset me, let him. I forgive him anyway. She has abandoned me, let her. I will wish the best for her anyways. He has angered me, let him. I speak well of him anyways. She has scared me, let her. I will speak well of her anyways. Basically, yeah, I wrote a bunch of other stuff about how it's important for me to engage with my life. I think that was mostly because I was getting a bit sad about the fact that I'd been on my phone so much and all this stuff. I need to engage with my life actively. Every choice I make is a choice. Even if that choice is to lay in bed and not do anything, that is still, I'm making that choice. I'm still doing that. At the end of the day, like, that is what has happened with my day. And so why not instead choose to be here, and to be here slowly and safely, and yeah, I guess like not overwhelming myself. So then based off of all of that, like I kind of identified, okay, the root is that like I've had these things that I've been worried about, and then I just kind of fell into these bad habits of ruminating loads, allowing like getting a bit of a kick out of ruminating loads about it because I'd not done that in so long. Obviously not consciously, but on some subconscious level I think I was asking people if they're mad at me, kind of saying these things as well. I don't mean that like, you know, everything you say comes true, but I feel like the things that you choose to focus on obviously then do shape what things you then pay attention to and notice, and in a way then end up shaping your reality. And so if I'm kind of constantly being like, oh, this person's upset with me, and also, oh, I bet everyone hates me, la, 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 instead just like not focusing on all of that stuff. And again, it's easier said than done, and all of this is not through, you know, shaming myself when I do, or like trying to avoid any feelings that I do have, but just curiously trying to see if there's another way. I think curiosity is like the main thing I'd want to like push if you are going to take any advice from this, because like if I do end up ruminating, if I do end up crashing out, if I do end up feeling really bad, it's nothing to be ashamed of, but being curious if maybe there's another way, or if maybe there's something else going on. Maybe it's true this person has been weirdly cold with me, but maybe it's also true that they might have something else going on and it's none of my business, and I feel really loved right now in this moment. In this moment nothing is happening. I breathe in, I breathe out, nothing is happening, and I don't need to be so concerned. I don't have to. It's okay, I'm safe. Even if they don't like me, that's okay, I'm safe. So then I wrote out some things that I want to focus on in the next few days. I must drink a lot, eat well and mindfully, speak consciously, choose how I spend my time consciously, move my body, take care of my body and mind, avoid harm to myself and others, avoid overstimulation, meditate, which I've been struggling with, and be present. And then I summarized all of that into good habits, aka low screen time, lots of water, move my body, stick to commitments, focus on work, and complete my functional therapy. I was also getting stressed because I wasn't doing any of my myofunctional therapy exercises, and I was like, oh my god, I'm spending all this money and I'm not even doing like the physiotherapy part of it. Do things one at a time, cultivate kindness, aka clean my room, speak well of myself and others. I do think that cleaning my room is an act of kindness towards myself. Be mindful, don't smoke, guys. This is a whole nother thing. Eat well and slowly, choose actively, renounce control, because I am entitled to nothing, nothing is mine, I accept. Cultivate love, everyone is my sister, I accept. Anyway, so that was a brilliant journaling session, and I don't think I would have been able to do that when I was so overwhelmed. I would have definitely got something out of it. I feel like journaling, especially in the way I like to do it, like really free journaling, where like there are no rules, there's no anything, you just write and see what happens, is like, I personally love it, and I feel like I always get something out of it. But that was such a nice way to kind of finish off, giving myself that period to unlearn and undo some of the bad habits I was having in regards to overwhelming myself and not facing the way that I was feeling and not sitting with the way that I was feeling. And then once I was calm enough, doing that, and I think once I did that, then implementing the things I wrote about, and since then I've been on the up. Like I do feel a little tightness somewhere, but it's not at all what it was. I wouldn't have been able to record this with the state that I was in like 3 weeks ago. Like I really wasn't able to do much. So yeah, feeling really grateful to be out of that, and just grateful in general that I managed to bounce out of it so quick, because it was really painful. Like it was horrible, and like I spent so much of my life in that state. Like when I was unwell, like I did have pretty consistent anxiety throughout my life, and like I don't know, I remember things from like my early childhood even, and I think like I had anxiety for a lot of my life. I forgot how much it sucked. I think because I've been safe for so long, like mentally, like I've been doing so well for so long, it's quite easy for my brain to kind of bounce back to that. I think something I really struggled with when I was like recovering from not just anxiety, but like being mentally ill, and also like physically, like basically all my health, my elusive health conditions that I've never really disclosed online. I think what was really difficult for me to like heal from that was that I didn't know what being healed meant. Like I didn't know what it would feel like to be in a body and a mind that wasn't unwell, and so I had no idea what I was striving towards. And I think now, having been well for so long, I feel like I bounce back from like setbacks a lot faster. I don't know if that's reassuring for anyone, because I know like people always say like healing isn't linear, and like it can be really, like, even though like a lot of people know that, a lot of people say that, it still can feel really disappointing when like you've been doing well for so long and then suddenly you're not doing well. But like truly, from my experience, I have found that the longer that I am well for, the easier it is to be well. And yeah, I'm really grateful to be well. I don't know if that's particularly helpful. I feel like I'm just rehashing a lot of things that I've said on my channel a lot of times, just taking care of myself in a very slow way. I'm really lucky to be in a household that I feel safe in, and to have so many people. I have such a brilliant support system. But I also do want to make clear that like when I've recovered from issues in the past, when I've like had really, really good periods, it's obviously way harder to do. I think it's a bit ridiculous when people kind of assume that like, especially like mental health conditions, I think is where like this kind of incorrect assumption I think is the most prevalent. But this idea that like you are able to overcome mental illness as its own separate thing without like the context of what's caused that mental illness. And obviously like some people do just have like chemical imbalances or whatever. But for example, like if you're depressed because you're in an abusive household, I don't think the solution is to try SSRIs. I think the solution is probably to leave that household, have trauma therapy, learn to feel safe again, be in a community where you feel loved, be in a home where you feel safe. I just kind of feel it's frustrating sometimes when like people act like it's entirely the individual's responsibility to overcome these things. And I do think that now, like being in a household where I feel safe and being around people who I really feel unconditionally loved by, and that's something I'd never really felt before. Like I can't stress that has been probably the biggest thing that's helped me, like mentally and even like physically as well. I've gotten so much better. Like my health is so good at the moment because of those external factors of like necessities that humans need, right? Safety and love. But that being said, even if you don't have those things, first of all, I'm really sorry. I love you. You deserve those things, and I really hope that they will come your way. But even for me, when I wasn't in the position that I am now, I was still able to make some changes that just like made things more bearable in the wait for these things to come. So yeah, basically I love you all, and I hope that you guys aren't having anxiety or any problems, because oh my god, last week, or no, 3 weeks ago I think is when it started. Well, no, it's been like a month ago now that it started. Anyways, it sucked, and I'm now doing a lot better, and I'm really glad I'm doing better, and I just want everyone else to do better too. Thank you so much for listening to my podcast. If you have anything you'd like to say at all, please comment. I love reading your guys' comments. Please like this video if you like this video, because it really helps to push this video and my channel out to other people. And please subscribe if you haven't already, because I'd love to have you over on my channel. Thank you so much again for watching, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye bye.